Hello everyone again, welcome back to our online class. Today is Thursday and it is the last day of the week that we study writing right one, right? Okay, Thursday is the last day that we study writing right one, because in 1 week we study writing right one on Wednesday and Thursday, right? So yesterday we learned about the last exercise in unit 1, right? And today we are going to go to our new unit 2, which is verbs and sentence patterns 2, right? So in unit 6 we learn about verbs and sentence patterns 1. In unit 7 we learn about verbs and sentence patterns 2, right? So yesterday I gave you the homework. Did you do your homework? So I gave you to find 5 words that have the part of speech as a noun and as a verb, and you have to create sentences from each word, right? I hope that you did it. So now let's go to our new lesson today. Our new lesson today covers, I think, 2 big points, 2 main points. The first one is indirect object, indirect object. The second one is object and object complement. Okay, it sounds difficult, but they are very easy if you look at me carefully. Okay, so let's go to our main point, indirect object, indirect object. We will start with direct object. So what is direct object? Do you know what is direct object? Direct object is a noun or a pronoun that receives the action of the verb. So direct object is a noun or a pronoun that receives the action of the verb, and it answers the questions whom or what. If you read the definition, it is very difficult to understand, but when you look at the example, you will say, so easy. Okay, so now let's go to example. The first example, I love you. I love you. So what you need to do is to identify what is the subject and then what is the verb. So what is the subject, I love you here? The subject is I, right? How about verb? Verb is love, right? How about object? Object is you, right? You here is an object and it is a direct object. Why I say that it is a direct object? Because here they say direct object receives the action of the verb. It's a noun or pronoun that receives the action of the verb. Here it receives the action I love. I love who? I love you, right? So you here is a direct object. So it answers the questions whom or what. So I love whom? I love you. Okay, I love you. So you here is a direct object because it receives the action love. It receives the action love. Let's go to another example. I like football. I like football. Again, identify what is the subject and what is the verb. So the verb is I'm sorry, the subject is I, and the verb is like. I like what? Here it answers the question I like what? I like football. Forget to underline. So football here is the direct object, right? It is an object and it is a direct object because it receives the action like. I like what? I like football. So football here is a direct object. Easy, right? Let's go to another example. She misses her cat. She misses her cat. So identify what is the subject. The subject is she, right? And the verb is misses. Why do we add the s? Because the word miss here, it ends with letter ss, and she is a person singular. We have to add es, right? So you studied about it already in level 7a. She misses her cat. So here, what is the direct object? So if I say she misses what? She misses here. That's why they say it answers the question whom or what. She misses what? Her cat. She misses her cat. So her cat is a direct object. Easy. Let's go to the last example of direct object. Dara speaks English. Identify what is the subject. The subject is Dara, right? And verb is speaks. He speaks what? He speaks what? He speaks English. So English is the direct object, right? Very easy. So direct object is a noun or a pronoun that receives the action of the verb, and it answers the questions whom or what. I love whom? I love you. I like what? I like football. She misses what? She misses her cat. Dara speaks what? Speak English. Okay, so I love whom, I love whom, I love you. Okay, so you here is a direct object, right? So that's the end of our direct object. Let's go to the indirect object. So again, direct object, it answers the questions whom or what, but indirect object, it answers the questions to whom or for whom. Okay, look at the example like I told you here. If you read the definition, it is a little bit difficult to understand, but when you look at the example, you will understand about it very clearly. So again, indirect object answers the questions to whom or for whom. Example, I buy her a ring. So now let's identify what is the subject, what is the verb, what is the direct object, and what is the indirect object. Remember, in one sentence, when there is an indirect object, there is always a direct object. Okay, so in one sentence, if there is an indirect object, there is also a direct object. I buy her a ring. So now let's identify. The subject is I, right? And the verb is buy. How about the direct object? So again, direct object, it answers the questions whom or what. I buy what? I buy what? I buy a ring, right? So a ring here is direct object. Direct object. How about indirect object? So indirect object answers the questions to whom or for whom. So I buy a ring for whom? For her. So her here is an indirect object. Easy, right? Let's go to the second example. My dad gives me money. My dad gives me money. So now let's identify what is the subject, what is the verb, what is the direct object, and what is the indirect object. So the subject is my dad, right? So my dad is a subject. How about the verb? The verb is gives. Gives what? Gives money. So money here is direct object. How about indirect object? Indirect object here, it answers the questions to whom. So my dad gives money to whom? To me. So me here is indirect object, right? Let's go to the third example. She cooked me dinner. She cooked me dinner. So she here is a subject, right? Cooked here is a verb. She cooked. Cooked what? Cooked dinner. So dinner here is a direct object, and me here is an indirect object. Why I say dinner here is a direct object? Because here direct object is a noun or pronoun that receives the action of the verb. So dinner here receives the action of the word cooked, right? She cooked. Cooked what? Cooked dinner. So when it receives the action from the verb cooked, it means that it is a direct object. And here she cooked dinner. Cooked for whom? Cooked for whom? Cooked for me. So me here is an indirect object, right? So you just remember that direct object answer the question whom or what, and indirect object answer the question to whom or for whom. I buy a ring. Buy for whom? Buy for her. So her here is an indirect object, right? My dad gives money. Gives money to whom? Give money to whom? Give to me. So me is an indirect object. She cooked dinner. She cooked for whom? Cooked for whom? Cooked for me. So me here is an indirect object. Let's go to the last example. He showed me his six packs. He showed me his six packs. Let's identify what is the subject. The subject is he, right? He is the subject. How about show? Show is a verb, right? And he showed what? He showed what? He showed what? He showed his six packs. He showed his six pack. So his six packs here is a direct object, and he showed his six pack to whom? He showed his six packs to whom? To me. So me is an indirect object, right? Okay, so now we come to the end of the indirect object and direct object, right? So it is very it is not really difficult when we look at the examples. So now let's review again. So direct object is a noun or a pronoun that receives the action of the word, and the most important thing that you need to remember is that it answers the question whom or what. I love, love whom, love you. So you here is a direct object. I like what? Like football. So football here is a direct object. How about indirect object? Indirect object answers the question to whom or for whom. I buy a ring. Buy for whom? Buy for whom? Buy for her. So her here is an indirect object. My dad gives money. Gives money to whom? To me. So me here is an indirect object. She cooked me dinner. She cooked dinner. She cooked dinner for whom? For whom? For me. So me here is an indirect object. He showed me his six packs. He showed his six packs. He showed his six packs to whom? To whom? To me. So me here is an indirect object. Okay, so now we have finished our first main point. Let's go to our second main point, which is object and object complement. So in unit 1 we study about subject and subject complement, right? And this unit we study about object and object complement. But before we go to object and object complement, let's review about subject and subject complement. So like I told you yesterday, or like I told you 4 weeks ago, what is subject complement? So subject complement is a noun or an adjective that comes after a linking verb and it describes the subject. Look at the example here. I am sad. I am sad. I am sad. So the subject is I, right? The am here is verb to be. Sad here is subject complement. Why do I say sad is subject complement? So subject complement here is an adjective, right? Adjective. So subject complement is a noun or an adjective. This one is an adjective that comes after a linking verb. Am here is a linking verb and it describes the subject. So I am what? I am sad. So the word sad here, it describes about me, about my feeling. That's why it is a subject complement. Let's go to number 2. She is slothful. She is slothful. So slothful, like we learned in the stories 3 weeks ago, slothful means lazy, right? So the subject complement here is what? Is slothful, right? Because it comes after a linking verb is and it describes the feeling. It describes the subject she, right? She is what? She is slothful. Okay? We are industrious. We are industrious. So the subject complement is industrious. It comes after a linking verb are and it describes the subject we. We are what? We are industrious. What does it mean industrious? So if you are an industrious person, it means you work very hard. Let's go to another example. So here sad is an adjective, slothful is an adjective, industrious is an adjective. Look at this one. Alex is a singer. Alex is a singer. So what is the subject? The subject is Alex, right? And verb to be is, right? How about a singer here? Is it an adjective or a noun? It is a noun, right? So like I said, subject complement is a noun or an adjective. This time is a noun that comes after a linking verb and it describes the subject. So here, it is a noun that comes after a linking verb is and it describes Alex, right? Alex is a what? Is a singer. Okay, the last one here is famous. So famous here is an adjective. Famous here is an adjective. It comes after a linking verb is and it describes the feeling and it describes the subject he, right? He is what? He is famous. So this is just a review about subject complement. Let's go to our lesson today, which is about object and object complement. So the first question that you need to ask is, what is object complement? What is object complement? So object complement is a word that comes after the object and it describes the object. It comes after the object and it describes the object. And it can be a noun, it can be an adjective or present participle. Okay, so now let's look at the example. I made her sad. I made her sad. So now I want you to identify. So what is the subject? The subject is I, right? How about the verb? The verb is made, right? How about her? Her here is an object. So which one is the object complement? So object complement is what? Is sad. So why do I say that sad is an object complement? Let's look at the definition again. What is subject complement? Subject complement is a word that comes after the object. Here, this is an object, and the word sad here, it comes after an object, and it describes the object. I met her. I met her what? I met her sad. So sad here is an object complement because it comes after the object her, and it describes about that object. I met her. I met her what? I met her sad. I met her happy. I met her hungry. I met her thirsty. Okay, so look at another example. I found this song amazing. I found this song amazing. So now let's identify. So the subject is I, right? The verb is found. How about the object? The object is this song, right? This song here is an object. How about object complement? Object complement here is amazing, right? Because it comes after the object this song, and it describes about that object. I found this song. I found this song what? I found this song amazing. I found, it means that I thought that, I think that. Example, I find that this song amazing. It means that I think that this song amazing. Understand? Okay, so don't confuse. I found this song amazing. It means that I thought or I think that this song amazing. Example, I find this movie interesting. It means that I think that this movie is interesting. Okay, I find this girl beautiful. It means that I think that this girl is beautiful. Okay, I find that this man is handsome. It means that I think that this man is handsome. That's how that is the meaning of this sentence. So I found this song. I found this song what? I found this song amazing. So amazing is an object complement. Let's go to the third example. They called me Mr. Sad. They called me Mr. Sad. So there is a subject. Call here is a verb. Me here is an object. And Mr. Sad here is an object complement. So why do I say Mr. Sad here is an object complement? Because it comes after the object me, and it describes the object. They call me what? They call me Mr. Sad. They call me Mr. Ugly. They call me Mr. Funny. Okay, so this is the object complement. Let's go to the last example. I made him a good student. I made him a good student. So I is a subject, made is a verb, him here is an object, right? Him here is an object. How about a good student? A good student here is an object complement. Why? Because it comes after an object him, and it describes about that object. I made him to become what? I made him to become a good student. I made him a good student, it means I made him to become a good student, but we don't need to add the word to become. So I made him what? I made him a good student. So a good student here is an object complement, right? Okay, so now we have finished the first and the second main points. The first one is about indirect object and direct object. The second one is about object and object complement. And let's review these two main points again before we go to our exercise here. Here there are two exercises that they are not really difficult, and now let's review the first point again. Let's summarize what we have learned today. So the first one is indirect object and direct object. We start with the direct object. So direct object is a noun or a pronoun that receives the action or the verb, and the most important thing that you need to remember is that it answers the questions whom or what. I love whom. I love you. So you here is a direct object, right? How about indirect object? Indirect object answers the questions to whom or for whom. I buy a ring. I buy a ring for whom? I buy a ring for her. So her is an indirect object, right? And object complement. What is object complement? So object complement is a word that comes after the object, and it describes the object. It can be a noun or an adjective or a present participle. So look at the example. I met her. I met her what? I met her happy. I met her sad. So the word happy or sad here is an object complement because it comes after the object and it describes that object. I met her sad. Okay, so these are the main points that we've learned today. So now let's go to our exercise. So there are two exercises like I told you a few moments ago, exercise number 1 and exercise number 2. In each exercise there are 5 sentences that you need to circle or underline. So now let's go to the first one altogether. Circle the DO, DO is direct object, and underline the IO, IO is indirect object. So when you see the direct object, just circle it. When you see the indirect object, just underline it. Okay, so let's look at exercise number 1, sentence number 1. I give him a lot of money. I give him a lot of money. So I here is a subject, right? Give here is a verb. How about direct object and indirect object? Him here is it direct object or indirect object? Him here is indirect object, right? We have to underline. And a lot of money, or you can say only money, is direct object. Why? I'm sorry, circle. Why do I say him is an indirect object and money is direct object? Because direct object, it answers the question whom or what. I give what? Give money. So money is direct object. To whom? To him. So him here is an indirect object, right? So if you remember, it answers whom or what, it answers to whom or for whom, you will know what is direct object and what is indirect object. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Srey Hieng bought me a rose on Valentine's Day, example. Srey Hieng bought me a rose. So Srey Hieng is a subject, bought here is a verb. So what is direct object? Direct object is bought what? Bought a rose. So a rose here is what? Is a direct object. Bought a rose for whom? For me. So me here is an indirect object, right? So we have to underline. Let's go to number 3. Ratana sent me her pictures. Ratana sent me her beautiful pictures. Okay. So the subject is Ratana. The verb is sent. Send what? Send her pictures. So her picture is what? Her picture is a direct object, and me sent to whom? Sent to me. So me is an indirect object, so we have to underline. Let's go to number 4. Nana or Bo Nana tells her boyfriend her sadness. Here you can add the word about, but it is optional. You can add it or you cannot, or you don't want to add it. It is still understandable. So you can say Nana tells her boyfriend about her sadness, or you can say Nana tells her boyfriend her sadness. Both are correct. You want to add about or you don't want to add, it is still understandable and it is still correct. Okay, so Nana tells her boyfriend her sadness. So Nana is a subject, tell is a verb. How about direct object? So tells what? Tells about her sadness. So her sadness here is a direct object, right? Tell her sadness to whom? To her boyfriend. So her boyfriend is an indirect object. Okay, so let's go to number 5, the last sentence of exercise number 1. Nara writes his teacher a letter. Nara writes his teacher a letter. So Nara is a subject, write is a verb. Write what? Write a letter. So a letter here is a direct object. Write a letter to whom? To his teacher. So his teacher here is an indirect object, right? So now we have finished our exercise 1. Let's go to exercise 2. So exercise 2, circle the SC. SC is subject complement and underline the OC. OC here is object complement, right? So here. Okay, so let's go to number 1. I am a teacher. I am a teacher. So is it about subject complement or is it about object complement? I am a teacher. So here the word a teacher here, it comes after a linking verb am and it describes the subject I, right? So it is the subject complement, right? So we have to circle, okay? Circle the subject complement. Why I say a teacher is a subject complement? Because subject complement is a noun or an adjective. This one, it is a noun that comes after a linking verb and it describes about the subject. I am a what? I am a teacher. So a teacher is a subject complement. Let's go to number 2. I called him Mr. Joe. Joe, J-O. I called him Mr. Joe. So Is it about subject complement or is it about object complement? Is it about object complement, right? So look at here. I is a subject, call is a verb, him here is an object, right? So him here is an object and Mr. Joe here is an object complement. Why? Because object complement is a word that comes after the object and it describes the object. I call him what? I call him Mr. Joe. So here it is an object complement. It is similar to this one, right? They call me Mr. Sad. So Mr. Sad here is an object complement because it describes about the object me. Okay. Remember, let's go to number 3. Sri Mom is single. Sri Mom is single. Sri Mom is single. So is it about subject complement or is it about object complement? So Sri Mom is a subject, right? Single here. It is an adjective, right? So adjective here, it comes after a linking verb is and it describes about the subject. Sri Mom is what? Sri Mom is beautiful or Sri Mom is single? Sri Mom is single. So that's why it is a subject complement, right? And subject complement we have to circle. Let's go to number 4. Rani made Lin happy. Rani made Lin happy. So Rani is a subject, made here is a verb, Lin here is an object. How about happy here? Happy here is a object complement. Why do I say happy here is an object complement? Because the word happy here, it comes after the object Lin and it describes about Lin. Rani made Lin what? Made Lin happy. Okay, so the word happy here is an object complement, so that's why we have to underline. Let's go to the last one. Siu Eng found Bun Liang handsome. So like I told you, this sentence it means that we think about something. Example, I find this song interesting. It means that I think that this song is interesting. Siu Eng found Bun Liang handsome. It means that Siu Eng thought that Bun Liang is handsome. Okay. So Siu Eng found Bun Liang, Siu Eng found Bun Liang handsome. Siu Eng is a subject, right? And found is a verb. Bun Liang is an object. So handsome here is an object complement. Why do I say handsome is an object complement? Because the word handsome here it comes after the object Bun Liang and it describes about Bun Liang. Siu Eng found Bun Liang found what? Found that Bun Liang is handsome, right? Maybe she has a crush on Bun Liang. So now we have finished our exercise number 1 and exercise number 2. And do you feel tired? I am so tired. Okay, so now we have finished our lesson today for Thursday. And before we end our video, let's summarize what we have learned today. So what have you learned today? So today you have learned about indirect object, and object complement. There are a lot of objects, right? So now let's go to your homework. So I want you to open your book on page 69. Open your book on page 69. You will see here tips for better sentences. I want you to take a look at it. Just read it. And common mistakes, you can look the mistakes that are normally made by students, and you can do a small exercise in this one. And now it's time to do your homework. Your homework is on page 70 and page 71. So page 70 and page 71, you have to read the instruction carefully. Like I told you many times, before you do any exercise, you have to read the instruction and look at the examples. Some exercises, they provide the example for you. They explain, they give you the instruction and they also give you an example. But some exercise, even if there is no example, you have to read the instruction carefully. So page 70 and 71, it is about exercise 1, exercise 2, 3 and 4. You have to do it by yourself. They are your homework. So you have 1 week, right? So we will start this book again on Wednesday next week. So you have 1 week to do these 2 pages, okay? So please try to do it, because I am trying my best to explain you. I I am very thirsty now. So I hope that you can understand about the lesson that we've learned today, and I hope that you will do these 2 pages and you can send them to your teacher and your teacher will correct them. If you have any questions, you can ask your teacher, or you can ask me directly. You can ask anyone you want to ask. The most important thing is you can understand about the lesson, right? Don't forget that right now we are living in a technological world. Everything around us is about technology. So you have internet, you have smartphone, you can do more research, you can watch more English videos on YouTube, or you can try to do more exercise on Google. So there are a lot of exercises, okay? Example, you are not clear about what is indirect object, what is direct object, you can go to YouTube, watch more videos, or you can go to Google and try to look at some example or some exercises about this lesson. You will understand more. Okay, I am so tired now, so hope to see you again on Friday, and we will study about speaking tutor 1B. Goodbye.